What makes a good person? I'll let you ponder that thought for a minute. Today on the channel, I'm going to be talking about a new drama film called A Good Person, starring Florence Pugh and directed by ZachBraff. But is it worth your time? Well, let's answer that question. Years after being involved in a fatal accident, Allison forms an unlikely relationship with her would-be father-in-law. The film stars Florence Pugh, Morgan Freeman, Celeste O'Connor, Molly Shannon, Zoe Lister-Jones, and many others, and was directed by ZachBraff, and he's done some episodes of Scrubs. He's also starred in Scrubs, and he also has done one other film I've seen called Going in Style. A Good Person, I never actually watched a full trailer for this film. I knew that Florence Pugh was in it, I knew that Morgan Freeman was in it, and I knew the base premise, and that's really all I knew about this film. The film, it starts off with Allison, played by Florence Pugh. She is engaged to Nathan, and they're at a party, and she's singing, and she really likes to play the piano, so she's really happy, and they're really happy in life. One day, she is driving to go check out wedding dresses, and she has the mother and the father of Nathan in the back seat of her car. She gets distracted by a text or something, and she ends up crashing the vehicle, and she ends up in the hospital, and the mother and father of Nathan end up passing away. It happens very quickly in the film, and the majority of this film is really her dealing with that loss, dealing with the grief, and then dealing with the fact that she has an addiction problem. She has an addiction to oxy. She really loves pills. She has a very much dependency on them. It's very apparent because she tries different ways to try to get those pills after her time is up of actually getting the prescription for those pills. She doesn't have a job. She's very depressed. She's drinking. She's always high. She looks very tired. It's very apparent that she's just really not on a really good path, and she's not in a really good state of mind. And then you have Morgan Freeman in this, who is the father-in-law that is taking care of another kid. Her name is Ryan. When he's taking care of this kid, he also has some demons in his closet as well, as he has a past drinking problem. And how these two end up meeting again is they meet up at a AA meeting. That's when this kind of spark happens again between them meeting. And of course, Florence Pugh's character, she really is very reluctant to really actually meet up with him because she's very scared of the fact of what she has done in the past, and obviously has a lot of guilt. The tone for the film is very melancholy. It's very sad. However, they do try to throw some humor in there. Specifically, the humor is very dark, and I won't lie, I definitely had some chuckles in this film, but mainly it's very minimal, as this film, it does have that depressing, sad kind of nature, and you're just watching these two characters unfold and really try to live their life, and it's really difficult. Morgan Freeman, he really has problems not being mad at the fact that Florence Pugh's character actually did what she did, but there are also parts where you do see bonding between both characters, and of course they both have demons in their closet. We know that Morgan Freeman was never a really good father, and he has a little bit of secret of what he did to his son, and it's very apparent that he really isn't the best of person that he has been in his past. Morgan Freeman is taking care of his granddaughter named Ryan, and she's having really a lot of problems actually adjusting. She has problems actually getting bullied by people, and she also is on the soccer team, and she seems like a really good kid overall, but she really is having trouble really adjusting in school. She's also doing things like having sex for the first time, and as there's a scene where she actually has sex with a boy, and he's much older than her, and Morgan Freeman absolutely flips out, and he doesn't know how to handle the situation, and that's where Florence Pugh tries to give advice to how he should be as a father. So that's where kind of the bond between Florence Pugh and Morgan Freeman's character is actually at in this film. One character that I wasn't particularly really that crazy about was Florence Pugh's mother. I found in the beginning of the film, she seems like she really wants her to actually do well and actually find a job, although she's very naggy at the fact that she's obviously really addicted to these pills, which is very understandable, as Florence Pugh shouldn't be doing that. But at the same time, she ends up disappearing, and then she doesn't come back into the film until I would say about the last 30 minutes of the film. Her mother has some drinking problems and some other problems of her own, and I just didn't really like how she was pretty much absent most of the film. She'll show up really late in the film, and then have that kind of scene that really doesn't really matter at that point, because at that point we're really establishing relationships between Florence Pugh's character with Morgan Freeman and also her establishing this relationship with Ryan. Main points that I got out of this film is it deals with a lot of grief, tragedy, obviously addiction, and the effects that addiction can have. But also, are you a person that if somebody does something like Florence Pugh's character, and obviously it was an honest mistake, even though she shouldn't have been doing that, it wasn't something purposely that she did, can you forgive somebody that does something like that? And it really does come into question, what kind of faith do you have at that point? And really, can you really just put certain things aside and move on through life, even though tragedy has struck? And at the same time, looking at yourself and your past on things you've done, because obviously you're not a perfect person yourself. So those kind of points are really brought up throughout this film. As far as performances in this, I think Florence Pugh does a phenomenal job. I really believe that she was a drug addict. There are many scenes in this where she would do anything to get drugs, anything to drink, and there are many scenes where she is just lapsing. She's relapsing, and she's having a ton of problems. She'll be shaking her leg, or she'll just be doing other things. Like, for instance, she invited a friend out to dinner just so she can try to get pills from her, or just inviting other people around to try to find ways to get these pills, and even getting other people to try to pick up her tab and actually pay for her drinking habits. So she does a lot of different things in here that can make you feel like you really don't really want to root for her, because she doesn't seem like she's really picking up her life and really picking up the pieces and getting herself together. Morgan Freeman, I thought his character was done really well. I thought his acting and performance here was very good. I think it's one of the best performances he's had in quite a while in a movie that I've checked him out in. I felt that his character arc and what he was really doing on screen, he had some comedy to actually provide for the film, and then he also had some serious moments, and he also had some moments where he's really questioning his faith, or questioning things that he should be doing better in life, or things that he shouldn't be doing in life. And he has that kind of realizing moment of why he should be doing a little bit better and why he shouldn't be doing certain things. And of course, really just kind of having some regret at some of the things that he did in his past. As far as the score for this film, I would give a score of this film a 4 out of 5. I really did enjoy this film. I can see how some maybe not like this film, maybe because of its nature, its sad nature, its melancholy nature, and the fact that some people may be a little bit sensitive to a drug addiction, or someone that has suffered abuse or drinking problems. So I can understand this isn't the most exciting film to go check out in a theater, but I do think it's an important film, especially for people that have addictions and for people that are looking for actual courage to actually kind of stand up and kind of fix your habits, and also forgiveness and faith and many other things that really make somebody a good person. And I think that's where the title really kind of goes hand in hand, A Good Person. A very good title for this film. I enjoyed this film. If you guys have checked it out, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. If you haven't checked it out, is it something that you're willing to check out? Thank you guys for listening to this review, and I will see you guys on my next review.